Hello and welcome. Are you co-parenting with a narcissist, or are you in a custody battle with a narcissist? Welcome to my work. Consider this a workshop. I give all my tips, tools, and strategies. I'm a survivor, self-published author, narcissist abuse survivor, legal abuse survivor, post-separation abuse survivor. I'm a coach and strategist for other mothers dealing with this, and I teach them how to install an ignore button. It's an ignore but remember button. So this requires strategic documentation, which I have a guide for, or you can find this in all 7 of my books. I do have a previous video. It's just a sample of 20 skills for dealing with a narcissistic ex. This is one of those skills. It does take practice. It is a strategy that you can employ. I'm here to educate, empower, encourage the safe, loving mom. Learn all you can because knowledge is power. My background is loving and leaving an alcoholic, and I broke free of the toxic trio: codependency, love addiction, trauma bonds. I went on to fight in family court for 12 years, and you'll see my co-parenting with a narcissist, 7 self-rules to stay sane, written in dedication to another mom who did lose her life tragically. So this is a video to give you hope and to help you not go crazy over the crazy making tactic of a narcissist. They have many tricks and tactics and traps for us moms to step into. But as you learn in my label the tactic, name it, call it out, that strategy will help it lessen its power over you. My second is how to fight a narcissist in family court and win. And I have all my books. This is 1 through 6. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, like and subscribe. These are all free. I have Tamed the Narcissist and Wisdom for Ending the Co-Parenting War and Custody Battle. And my newest, We Survived a Narcissist, Believe You Can Too, available on Amazon. Please support me as a self-published author. This is not direct advice. This is like more peer-to-peer support. Take what's helpful, leave the rest. I'm not a lawyer or a professional, although I had 3 lawyers, and I got several professionals on my case, along with 3 narcissist abuse and law experts. So I reached out and found the support. So this one is about hitting an ignore button. But if you don't have it in you, if everything the narcissist does and doesn't do triggers you into action or emotional response, watch out. You will lose a lot of energy if you are constantly paying attention and covering for him and responding what is really reacting, or even trying to respond to everything he does. So being bothered by the narcissist is our problem. They are them. They're being what they are. It's awful. It's terrible for everyone that experiences them. What they do and what they don't do, how they think, what they say, all of it is upsetting, triggering, traumatizing, and I call it toxic. So if you're forced to co-parent with a narcissist, if you're the narcissist target of blame, which is another strategy I teach, not to be the TOB, if you're witnessing narcissistic abuse of the children or his awful parenting, and if you can't do anything in family court or you don't want to go to family court, you may need to use my 3D strategy, a totally different strategy, or install this ignore button. Ignore but remember. So you can take a more strategic approach, which is to document strategically. And it may not be enough to just document. You may have to vent, share, discuss it. And I did that with a DV counselor and a therapist and program sponsors. And then I had to learn to detach so that I had energy to actually be a mom and work on things that mattered. So there would have been small things: coming home covered in mosquito bug bites, knots in hair so big that I had to cut them out. The judge didn't care about them. But when they are listed 1 through 10, paired with something the judge cares about, our lawyer, can paint a picture of the narcissist neglect. But sometimes narcissists are just ordered to take parenting classes. And very few judges will just take a child away from a father who forgot to pack lunch. So we need to ignore the small things so that we also don't look like a micromanaging crazy mom. I mean, if we are nitpicking the narcissist, this can go against us in our custody case, which happened to me. No matter how many times I called CPS, they didn't find enough. And it went against me in family court because they counted the number of reports for this child and assumed all of them, including the anonymous ones, were from me. So I had to really watch. My lawyer said calling CPS is like hitting the nuclear button. I had to watch out for that. It had to rise to the level of serious with evidence, not just my child's testimony as evidence, because she ended up not saying what she told me. And children do that when they're being interviewed by authority figures and young, and it's all scary and intimidating. They sometimes cover for the narcissist. They just don't want trouble. They don't want problems, and they need to survive the situation too. So if you've got a bunch of trigger buttons, if the child's hair comes home messy, if the child comes home in ripped clothes, those buttons and those triggers are yours. So I had to figure out what mine are and then pre-plan that, okay, when her hair comes home in knots, it's going to make me upset. It takes an hour to do. My child's crying. And so I had to have a creative solution. I just cut her hair. I cut it, had it cut short, bangs. That it was a terrible haircut. It did not look good on her, but it saved an hour of crying and frustration at night, until she could. It wasn't forever, everything changes. So until she could brush her own hair, at her dad's time, and now she grows her hair completely long because of what happened. But we had to find a way to deal with it, and I couldn't keep allowing myself to have this trigger. And I also realized I had to reframe it, that the time spending doing her hair was bonding time. And we sat and watched her favorite cartoons, and we were together, and I did it lovingly, and made it fun. So if you have triggers, know what they are, write them down. Just stop or keep listening, but get a piece of paper and say, it could be winter boots, like what happened with me, not paying for activities fees. Not paying for activities fees that are court ordered add up. And I ended up using that in one of our contempts, and it did go against him. But constantly being upset that he wasn't doing it every month just weakened me. I lost power to my emotions because I was using emotional energy to be upset. So it is a choice to be upset by it. It doesn't feel like it because it's such an instant reaction. But if you can catch yourself reacting and say, oh, I am so triggered right now, and call somebody so you don't jump off that mental emotional cliff and into a loss of power, that can help you stay grounded and strategic. So strategies help reduce stress. I learned that a long time ago. The Document the Narcissist is an individual guide. You can find it on my digital platform, but it's also in one of my books. Nowadays, I don't know which one, but I think it's How to Survive a Custody Battle. Documenting strategically. So there's a lot of advice out there to document everything, and that was good advice. I took it, and then I went insane documenting everything that I hated and didn't like about the narcissist, he was doing, not doing. And I had to switch to documenting strategically. What are the 5 things a judge cares about? Not everything the narcissist is doing wrong, because I was looking like a micromanaging mom who was interfering and making it impossible for the dad, when that's how he positioned himself. And so everything I did reinforced what his complaint was. So my style of parenting is different than his style of parenting, and that's what the courts see and believe. And I had to line up with more what a judge thinks, like what would annoy the judge? What matters to the judge? Is it late drop-offs? Is it not paying child support for more than 3 months? I mean, what does the judge care about? Not what I cared about as a loving, caring, protective mom. So if you want my documentation guide, this helps you think strategically. And if you needed to hear that you can ignore some of the narcissist games, tactics, tricks just to get, because feeding the narcissist our emotional energy is narcissistic supply. Sometimes narcissists eat up knowing they upset us and watching us unravel and sending the long emails or family wizard messages or talking parents, teaching them a lesson and telling them where they went wrong. They see this long outpouring of energy in these paragraph after paragraph with explanations and confrontations, and they just laugh. Got her, So having a sense of what's important, maybe write down the 3 things that are important. And for me, it was she alive? Was she healthy? Was she fed? I had to just write down what was important, not are her clothes ripped? Even does she have winter boots in the middle of winter? I just got extras. You'll read if you read my story. Write down what really matters and maybe post that on your fridge, because we have to make sure we're focused on what really matters. The narcissist can pull us off track just with the games. Now, if you're documenting, you can create leverage for later. And so that's why documenting strategically, there's a video out there. If you're getting triggered by the narcissist, are you communicating too much with the narcissist? I get this with moms all the time. They are telling, talking, asking, pleading, trying to get cooperation from someone who doesn't like them, has been rejected, their ego's been bruised, and they're trying to communicate, and they're not getting communication or good communication back. A personality disordered person typically won't give you good communication back. They're certainly, if they're a narcissist, are not going to give you empathy or care about your plight or the child's feelings. So we have to get real. We have to have a reality check here of what we're trying to do with our communication. It should be factual, 1 sentence, 2 sentence things that a judge, if they read, they thought you were being a good co-parent. So watch your communication, watch that video, come to my blog, come to my website. I do have a Know the Narcissist video. This is in my book. It's important that you know who and what you're dealing with so that you can be acting, responding, thinking appropriately. And it all starts with our mindset and our thinking. You'll need several strategies. I have a short video with strategies, documentation strategy, support strategy, legal strategy, defense strategy, offense strategy, a parenting strategy, a communication strategy. Come listen to my podcast on Spotify. And thanks so much for listening. I hope somebody got something out of this. Keep being a great mom. See you in the next video. Subscribe to my free Substack newsletter. Thanks so much for listening and watching.